Isenberg. I'm the Executive Director and founder of the Babson Entrepreneurship Ecosystem Platform. We run scale-up projects in Milwaukee, that's Wisconsin, the United States, in Manizales, Colombia, we'll be launching a project in Cleveland, Ohio, Northeast Ohio, next year, 2017, and we run a project called Scale Up Rio. The common theme of all of these projects is that it's possible to relatively rapidly, within just a few years, irreversibly impact and change the dynamics of the different actors in a given region, all of whom are concerned with or can be brought to be concerned with helping more and more companies grow more and more rapidly. And I use that very simple phrase, more and more companies grow more and more rapidly, because really that's the objective of entrepreneurship policy. Not to get more companies to start, but to get more companies to grow. And by the way, one of the things that we know from research is that there's actually a negative correlation between the number of companies that start and the number of companies that can grow, because the number of companies that start actually suck up, absorb talent and other resources from those who grow. So there's a built-in tension between scale-up and startup. The reason I mention this is because to get more and more companies to grow more and more rapidly, the entire ecosystem has a role to play, so to speak. And that means the actors in the ecosystem have a role to play because they have an interest in growth. Whether it's the media, whether it's the large corporations, whether it's the educational institutions, the government, the NGOs, the events, and of course the investors and the banks and the other equity investors. One of the amazing things about growth is that they all have a stake in it, that they benefit from growing, from more and more companies growing, not just themselves. And so if you can show them how they can invest in growth, they'll keep doing it. That's what an ecosystem is. An ecosystem is where all the different parts are interacting in a very dynamic way, not necessarily intentionally, but because it's to their benefit. What they're doing benefits them. And growth has the advantage of benefiting a lot of different stakeholders. So that's what's brought me to the concept of the entrepreneurship ecosystem, because it's the best way of both explaining how you create an environment, a culture, a series of policies, incentives, natural incentives, and markets in which more and more companies can grow. And when more and more companies grow more and more rapidly, good things happen as well. Not just to the stakeholders, but jobs are created. That sounds natural, doesn't it? Wealth is created. Innovation tends to be more likely. It's an outcome as much as it is an input to the growth process. And people pay more taxes, all of which are good things. They're good things for different stakeholders, but they're good things. And finally, one of the things that we've been learning is that it's possible to systematically impact the ecosystem, impact all the different stakeholders in a region in such a way so that they discover not only that growth benefits them, which is not very difficult, but also they discover how they can invest in that growth in unique ways. So how universities invest in growth, how media invest in growth, how the public sector and the governments invest in growth, how foundations and NGOs invest in growth, how large companies invest in growth. It's all very different because they have different needs. So that's just a few words on ecosystems, and I think the one message that I want to leave you with is that it is possible. We're learning that it's possible in these different environments to rapidly, systematically, and intentionally change and help accelerate a positive dynamic in which more and more companies are scaling up. The scale-up metaphor is powerful, and it's being adopted as a powerful, evocative, practical metaphor in many different regions, whether it's Scale Up Denmark, Scale Up Europe, the Scale Up Manifesto, Scale Up UK, Scale Up Milwaukee, Scale Up Vaud, Scale Up Rio, Scale Up America, and I'm sure I'm leaving some out, but there are a lot of regions realizing that the power of this evocative scale-up metaphor is useful. So I know that's going to be a theme of eGaus. the event that you're holding on November 23rd. And I think that's going to be a very useful event in helping further the scale-up movement, furthering the activities and the knowledge that we have about how to intervene practically to make scale-up more likely. So, good luck.